continue going down that track. But and I did think even with our ROTC that I would want to pursue like law school later down the
Yeah.
line and go along that trajectory.
Is
But
that something you still
decided
think about, or?
no.
Yeah. It seems boring to me.
Mainly,
I don't know.
yeah. I totally respect people who do it, and some people are
Yes.
really into it. But I'm gonna be honest, there are a lot of people I think who apply to go to graduate school right out of college because they don't know what else to do and they
Mm.
don't know what career they want to start off with. And obviously that's not everybody, but for me, I knew I was going to the military, and then over COVID, I really had this like personal time for reflection and realized that the difference between what I was taught to want and maybe what I actually wanted.
Mm.
And I think that helped me get a lot of clarity with my trajectory, and it did not include law school.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, that's a good thing
yeah,
you found that out when you did. Maybe some people are in, like, their middle stages of life when they kind of discover these
yeah,
things.
yeah. And I really am grateful for that reason for COVID, even though like I feel so bad for everybody who's lost somebody or the impact it had in such personal ways for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think it like collectively gave our society space to just like calm down for a second, and everybody found a hobby, and everybody maybe rediscovered like the value of the everyday and making it work on the everyday. So I think a lot of good came out of that for a lot of people I know.
Yeah, I remember thinking somewhere along that line, like, hey, things are going to be different when we get out of it, because people have had this time to like reflect, and you sort of see that with the what's the term they're using? The Great Migration? No, it's about all the
Mm.
people not returning to work. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a discussion about this with my friend, and she was saying that people are realizing that whatever path they were on, you know, it's the wrong path. And I think that's happening, but I think that this is just a blip. I think we
Mm.
we hit a speed bump and everything is going right back to where it is. Because I don't know,
Mm.
I'm not trying to be like negative or pessimistic, but I'm looking at human nature. I study psychology. People go back
Mm.
to what they know. So yes, you're probably some people on a crusade to maybe find themselves or find some form of happiness or meaning in their life. But I think the machine is too powerful. You got to
Mm.
pay your bills. You got to, especially if you're married, you got kids. I don't know if
Yeah.
this change is long lasting, is what I'm saying. And how do you
Yeah.
feel? Did you
I could
disagree
see
or?
that. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Maybe the majority of people will go back and be tied back into, our capitalistic system that demands a lot of
Another cog in the
productivity. And
system? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I also think though that maybe there's that group of people who, hadn't been in the workforce, but are now entering the workforce. And during those couple of years, when we had COVID, they had be going through school or maybe getting out of high school or whatever, and they never knew what it was like to be in those
Mhm.
workplaces. So
So
maybe
we're
for
tainted.
them it might be different. Yeah, maybe for them there's nothing to go back to except what they knew during COVID. So maybe that will cause some change like many years down the line. But
Yeah.